So I gained weight and I'm actually just not okay with it. So hello darlings and welcome back to my channel. I'm Bimim Aladejana, and if you are into luxury contemporary fashion with a little bit of travel and apparently now fashion think pieces, you'll find it all here. So make sure to like, comment and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. I wanted to start this video by saying a massive thank you to all 188 of you who are consistent and returning subscribers. I love you all so much. You guys have been really patient with me throughout the years and my upload schedule and all of that stuff, and the fact that you guys are still here is really like, it really touches my heart. I make mostly of these videos of like an online fashion diaries, and the fact that you guys see value in it and listen to it is really nice to me. So I decided to make this video because as somebody who is absolutely in love with the world of fashion, I love fashion as a form of self-expression, and I think it's only fitting to talk about body image and how it affects fashion and how it affects the way that we see ourselves in our body, and our ability to express ourselves the way we want to express ourselves. I need cream because I'm dry. My weight. I'm about 5 kg from where I wanted to be by April, the beginning of April, and about 10 to 15 kg from where I want to be overall in my life. I'm being very vague on what my exact weight is because I just don't want that particular knowledge on the internet right about now. And you know, I think that weight has been something that I've always struggled with growing up, and a lot of people have, and you know what, that's okay if you've struggled with weight. Most of your life, most people will. And you know, and also I don't have the best relationship with food, and that's okay too. I'm very disciplined in my food choices for the most part, but let's be honest, if someone brought me like some Lindt creamy chocolate bar, I would eat the whole thing in one sitting, and I know it has like 567 calories inside. And I know that because I've memorized it. And so, you know, that's okay too. I think that we need to normalize not having the best relationship with food and not having the best relationship with our bodies, and actually being okay with it. I know that body positivity is a massive thing, and you know, like it's a movement and stuff, but you know what? I'm not body positive. I don't like the way that my body looks you know what, I do like the way my body looks for the most part. I just don't like certain things about my body, and that's okay. So right, sorry, I have my script here, so I'm trying to like remember all of the things that I wrote. But growing up in an African household, your body is just gonna get talked about, and you kind of just have to be like, you kind of have to just suck it up. It's something that I've never found like major issue with because I grew up very slim and I had puberty quite early, so it was more like, oh okay, so you're getting shaved now, hey, you're a big woman, da, 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 da. I found it more, I never found my family's comments that like destructive to my self-esteem. In fact, I felt it was more like praising me. I think that I found like other people's comments like outside of my family quite disparaging, because I feel like it came through a very kind of sexualized lens, and I didn't particularly like that growing up, especially when you're starting to like discover your own body. So I was really slim growing up, and puberty hit me like a ton of bricks one day. One day I woke up and I had a figure 8, as they call it. In Nigeria they call it figure 8s. I woke up and there was figure 8s. That's it. Like that's literally how it kind of happened one day. And you know, as I started to gain more womanly attributes, the weight and the belly gain came. The belly fat came. And so as I started to develop this almost glorified figure, everyone's like, oh, you know, you want a big back and like big chest and like all of this stuff. It didn't look like what I was used to seeing on social media and other kind of platforms. I'm 22, so I grew up with social media. I didn't grow up in the age of like when magazines were a thing. So yeah. But going on to social media, so the slim, thick aesthetic has kind of informed what I thought my body should look like. Growing up in the social media of like the early 2010s, it really made me feel strange about the way my body looked. I always thought, okay, yeah, I have all of these attributes that people are dying for, like going under the knife for, yada yada yada, but my body still doesn't look like that, and I got it naturally. So the fact that it doesn't look like that really confused me. I'm like, but like I have that and I have that, so like why isn't this midsection doing what it was supposed to do? That's kind of how I looked at it. So it kind of dawned on me that when I saw these women who had kind of like the body type that I was supposed to have, or had supposedly my body type, sometimes they were really, really thin. And so they had hips, and then they had like a smaller chest, but proportionally it looked like they had an hourglass figure, and they had like broad shoulders. So in my head, I was like, okay, if I get to a really, really like slim look, I'll look like that. But I was like, I don't really want to be very, very slim. That's kind of just not my... I never really wanted to like be extremely thin. I was growing up, and I used to be called like anorexic and stuff like that growing up. And I never really wanted to go back to that. I just wanted to have a very like womanly shape, and I wanted to be what I considered like the peak of beauty, which was to have an extreme hourglass figure. And so when I saw women online who didn't have belly fat and all of this stuff, I was like, oh, okay, like, are they just like naturally like that? Like, what gym regimen do I need to go on to be like that? Like, I started going to the gym at 15 years old, which is like the youngest you could go to a gym by yourself. When I used to go back from school, like this was secondary school, me and my best friend at the time, we used to go to the gym like almost every day after school. And to think that a 15-year-old or like child is doing that, it's a bit concerning, in my opinion. Like, why do you feel so in your feelings about your body that you go to a gym? I think it's different if it was just like school, like after school gym classes and stuff like that. But no, we were paying to go to an adult gym to work out with like heavy weights and run treadmills. And thinking about it now, I'm just like, I really, really had a complex about like the way my body looked. And to be honest, it never really dawned on me that social media was fake at a young age. I mean, being 15, 16, you don't really think like social media is like fake. Like, you know, people use filters, but you don't really get that people like edit their photos or stuff like that. Like, I didn't start editing my photos until I was 18, I think. And that was only like to make my teeth whiter and stuff like that. Like, I never had the foresight to be like body contour. And also, I think I was always afraid of like wobble things, and I never wanted to create this image of myself online that I didn't see in the mirror, because I feel like that's even more scary than seeing just women who you don't know having these like absurd bodies. But I kind of have taken a step back and just said that social media is not the place where I need to inform myself about how my body should look. I don't think I'll ever stop striving for a flat stomach. However, I don't think I'm thriving for the flat stomach that is achieved via surgery or via being incredibly thin. Makeup by, is it Shayla? Or Makeup by Shayla, I think her name is a great example of this. She is a slim, thick woman and she has a thicker waist, but it's still like she still has a flatter stomach. And that is kind of what I'm looking towards as a good representation of what I can achieve through the gym and through other such regimens. Now onto the rise of skinny and BBL fashion. So the main meat, you know, the main meal, as you will, of why you came and clicked on this video. As I continue my journey into fashion, I find some fashions or some things that are fashionable, especially the old money / clean girl aesthetic, kind of hard to envision myself in, or hard to, in some ways, create. And the reason why I think is that it kind of relies on a very specific body type. Skinny fashion in particular very much relies on you having a square shape that is a size 4 to 6 and being incredibly lean. All things I am not. And so, as in, I am a hourglass body, but I am a size 8 to 10, sometimes a 12 on the bottom, but I'm not a 4 to 6. Like, I'm just, and I probably never will be, and I'm okay with that. So the fact that the whole principle on some of these outfits relies solely on your body being a certain way kind of gives me lazy. And the reason why I would say that is because I feel like fashion is a self-expression. It's a way that you self-identify, you express yourself, and if the outfit is your body, I think that's not a form of self-expression. I think that's just saying, come here, look at me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that's lazy. I just think that's lazy. I see a lot of influencers and people on social media, especially fashion influencers and things like that. And I know of one particular person, she made a top out of tights. And I was like, in my head I was like, that only looks good on you because you're a size 4. If anybody else with and probably an A cup, if anybody else with a C and above tried what you were trying to do, would be looking crazy. And so is it really that you're fashionable, or is it just that you're slim? I'm waiting for the answer. So in the other case, which is like the other extreme is the BBL fashion, right? Fashion that only looks good if you've had certain enhancements done. Because remember, the body doesn't come with the clothing, okay? The body and the clothing are separate. The mannequin does not come with the clothes. It will look different on your body type. Of course it will. You're not the same. We're not all a monolith of these giant butts, tiny, tiny waist, big boob women. So it leaves a lot of people fashionably homeless. So just understanding that once you change the size, it doesn't change the ratios. There's still gonna be, you know, if they change the circumference of the waist, they're gonna change the pant leg to the same sizing, unless you go to specialty stores. Like I know Levi's does like 32 in the waist, or like I'm a 27, 28, and then it does different lengths and things. And so it kind of puts into perspective for me that who are these people making fashion for? whether it's luxury designers or just contemporary fashion, who are we making clothes for? Because skinny fashion isn't the most majority of people, and BBL fashion is not the majority of people. However, I keep seeing this reoccurringness of just very much fashion that only looks good if you're very slim, or fashion that only looks good if you are a caricature of an hourglass figure. And so, who are we making clothes for? All I want is for jeans to look good on me and not gape at my waist. That's all I want. So, another thing that kind of inspired and informed me making this video was I watched Jubilee's 101 What's the Perfect Body. By the way, they've been posting that on International Women's Day. It's shameful. Okay? Borderline shameful. But them posting that and how Soweto kind of felt a bit like she grew up in a predominantly white area. She was born in South Africa, and how she felt the need to kind of hide and out of kind of shame of her body. And I think that that's something that a lot of young women go through. And so I don't mean to kind of shame or disparage anybody from wearing clothes that are basically for the body and not very fashionable, or we only think it's fashionable because it's on a certain body or anything like that. But I think it's just important to understand and be aware that young women are growing up in this time where they see the perfect bodies on Instagram edited to a millionth, gazillionth time, and they're buying these clothes and thinking, why doesn't this look good on me? And it's like, yes, there's editing, yes, there's stuff, but also some of the stuff is just not fashionable. It's just because they're slim, or it's just because they've gotten these certain enhancements. Like I wanted to buy like a corset or something from Versace. They were having a sale and I wanted to buy a corset from them. And the corset went up to like like a 42 or something, which is a UK size 14, I believe. And the space where your chest was supposed to fit did not change at all. And I was like, who is this for? Because honestly, if you are a size 14, you likely have more than an A cup chest, which has to fit in this corset. So who is this really for? And you could be slim and have as in you could appear to be slim but be a 14, like you could be tall and all of this stuff. But really, who is this for? And so I think that we just need to be aware when we are creating fashion and clothing that these clothes are supposed to be for the mass majority of people, and most majority of people don't fit into the extremes. And also, honestly, whenever I see like a cardigan and it's just got like one button and the person has their whole chest out and it's just supposed to, I was like, who in what world? Because that's never going on me. Like, that's never happening to me. Let's be honest. Like, I can't, listen, I'll be looking crazy if I wore that. And so and also I was watching Khadija Mbowe's video. This is getting a bit ranty, but oh well. I was watching Khadija Mbowe's video, or Mob, whatever. I will link her in the description box down below. And she was going through a lot of the stuff that I resonated with as well. Just the fact that she also has an hourglass figure. She also grew up relatively slim, and then now she has body fat, and we're all like, we really hate our belly. Well, I know at that in that video she was like, when I wrote the script I hated it and I would consider cosmetic procedures, but now she's like, And I think no, I still hate my belly, and it's okay. It's okay. Like, I hate my belly. I hate that I've gained weight. I'm not okay with the fact that I've gained weight. I personally And I don't think that this is internalized fat phobia, because I don't like the way my body looks. And I'm okay with not liking the way my body looks. I'm not like, oh, you know, like, oh, I'm so fat, or I'm this, I'm that. It's like, no, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to see it. I want to change it. And that's okay. Like, I can have all of those opinions about my body and still be like, you know what, Vivian, you get some nice thighs, you know, you got some nice calves, you know. Like, I can still say all of those things and be really appreciative of my body. And self-degradation, as long as it's not unhealthy, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think that looking at myself critically and looking at myself in a way that's not in the most flattering light allows me to make better decisions for myself. And so I made this video, and this is my final thoughts to say. I gained weight and I'm not okay with it. I'm gonna be hitting the gym after this, best believe that. And so I want to be on this journey to liking the way my body looks, and I want to be on this journey to liking the clothes that I buy and liking the way that my body feels in them. And so I look to you to think about, what feelings do you have about your body, and what feelings do you have about the current world of fashion, and do you think it's representative of you? And so, darlings, I will see you guys in my next video. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you made it this far, love you all. Bye.